Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm a sleep physician. And if you have insomnia, this channel is for you. Ellie, a viewer, asked me, what is considered success when you are trying to limit your time in bed using bedtime restriction to sleep better? Is it sleeping throughout the night without waking at all? Well, there are two ways to look at this. One is numeric, looking at what's called sleep efficiency and how high that is. And the other one is subjective, simply asking yourself how you felt like you slept. Thank you for tuning back in. I am super excited having you back here. And if you're new to the channel, of course, big welcome to you. So yesterday we talked about core sleep, which is a concept of like kind of the minimal sustainable amount you can sleep for extended periods of time. And a viewer asked me a very important question, kind of unrelated to the video, but very, very important question. So I'm going to read it to you. So it was a comment to yesterday's episode, and it goes like this. I have a question. To consider sleep restriction successful, does it mean that we sleep through the night without waking at all? Thanks, Pam. First of all, thank you, Pam, for this comment. I think it was a really good one. And for those of you who are new to the channel, Pam is mentioning what's called sleep restriction. I often call it bedtime restriction. And that's a technique where you purposely like delay your bedtime and get up fairly early, so you limit time in bed, building up a strong sleep drive, a sleep need at night that hopefully makes you sleep and keeps you asleep for that duration of time. That's kind of the first step of treating insomnia. Now, what is considered like, successful in like when you do that? So let's say you limit your time in bed to 6 hours. You're now going to bed not before midnight and you're getting up at 6. Then if you sleep through those 6 hours straight, is that success, or what is really success? Like when are you ready to maybe extend time in bed, spend a little more time in bed to see how much sleep you can get or need? And so there are, as mentioned, two ways of answering this question. Typically when I see patients in clinic, one thing I look at is something called sleep efficiency. And I think one of my early videos, so maybe number 2 or 3 or something like that, was about sleep efficiency. So basically it's a way of looking at the quality of your sleep in a numeric way. So for example, if you spent 8 hours in bed and you slept 4 hours, then your sleep efficiency would be 50%. You slept 50% of the time you were in your bed, which is not good at all. That's terrible, actually. Good sleep efficiency is considered somewhere around 85%, 80%, some say 90%, some say, so like between 80 and 90%. I typically say 85%. So that's a good sleep efficiency. So one way of answering the question of like, am I successful using this sleep restriction or bedtime restriction? Well, if your sleep efficiency is between 80 to 90%, that is successful. But that's an objective measure that may not reflect how you feel. So I think an even more important way of telling if you're successful or not is kind of simply subjectively asking yourself, do I feel like I slept really most of the time I was in bed? If you feel like I slept pretty much the entire time I was in bed, I woke here and there, but it wasn't that much time, I would consider that, successful. And the last, point I made in my reply to this comment was the following. It's good to keep in mind that everyone, no matter how good of a sleeper we are, we all wake up, actually multiple times. But most people that have no problem sleeping will wake up, turn around, go back to sleep, and don't remember it. May even wake up and be awake for a few minutes, but just like they don't think about it, don't register it, so they don't remember it. So a lot of people feel like they sleep through the night, but nobody really does, as opposed to somebody with insomnia who's often very kind of hyper alert, hyper aware of what's going on, and will remember every single time they woke up. So there's that to like think about as well, just to be mindful of that. So I thought this was a good question. I hope I answered it, Ellie, Pam. And if you have a follow-up question, of course, or if anybody else has a question to me, please send me an email at daniel@insomniainsight.co or leave a comment. And I hope to have you back here very soon. Until then, bye-bye.